When nothing seems to go your way and you see no hope, it can feel like the whole world is against you. The doors keep closing, the plans fall apart, and every step forward feels like 2 steps back. In these moments, it's easy to feel lost, defeated, and overwhelmed by despair. But I want to remind you today that even in the darkest times, hope is not lost. It's within you, waiting to be awakened. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy born in the minds of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, teaches us one profound truth. While we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to it. The external world is chaotic and unpredictable, yes, but our inner world, our mind, our attitude, our values, that is where true power lies. When nothing seems to go your way and you see no hope, it can feel as though you are trapped in an endless storm where every effort you make is met with resistance, and every plan you hold dear crumbles before your eyes. It is during these moments of despair and frustration that the human spirit is truly tested. Life, in its unpredictable nature, does not always follow the path we envision for ourselves. The losses, setbacks, and failures can make us question our purpose, our strength, and even the very meaning of hope. Yet within this chaos there lies a powerful philosophy, Stoicism, that offers a way to find peace and resilience no matter how dire the circumstances seem. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot always control the external events that happen to us, we hold complete control over how we perceive and respond to those events. This is the essence of our power and the foundation of hope that no external force can take away. The first step in navigating moments when everything goes wrong is acceptance. Not a passive resignation to suffering, but an active acknowledgement of reality as it is, without distortion or denial. The Stoics called this amor fati, which means love of fate. Loving your fate means embracing everything that life presents you, whether pleasant or painful, as necessary and meaningful. This attitude does not mean that you approve of suffering or hardship. Rather, it means recognizing that these experiences are part of your journey and can be used as opportunities for growth. When you accept reality fully, you stop wasting precious energy resisting what cannot be changed. This clarity allows you to focus instead on what remains within your control: your thoughts, your choices, your attitude. It is crucial to understand that while you cannot control external events, you can control your internal world. You can choose whether to respond with despair or with determination, with anger or with patience. This inner freedom is the heart of Stoic resilience. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminded us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This simple yet profound insight puts the power back in your hands, even when your circumstances feel overwhelming. Your response can transform hardship into strength, failure into a lesson, and loss into wisdom. When you feel hopeless, it is natural to want to withdraw, to give up, or to blame others for your misfortune. But Stoicism encourages us to do the opposite: face adversity directly with courage and self-discipline. The trials you endure are not meaningless suffering. They are the crucible in which your character is forged. Just as gold is purified through fire, your virtues, courage, patience, integrity, and wisdom are strengthened through challenges. Each difficulty you overcome builds your resilience and deepens your understanding of yourself and the world. Patience is one of the most vital virtues to cultivate when everything seems to be going wrong. Change and progress often take time, and the outcomes we desire may not manifest immediately. Stoicism teaches that impatience and frustration arise from wanting to control the uncontrollable, from demanding that life conform to our wishes rather than accepting it on its terms. By practicing patience, You learn to endure the process, to stay steady and composed even when results are delayed or setbacks occur. This steadiness itself becomes a source of hope, quiet confidence that, no matter how tough the moment, you can endure it and eventually move forward. Another key element of Stoic thought is the distinction between things that are within your control and those that are not. This dichotomy is central to maintaining peace of mind. Your thoughts, beliefs, intentions, and actions are within your power, while external events, other people's opinions, and outcomes often are not. When you fixate on what you cannot change, you set yourself up for frustration and despair. Instead, by focusing on your own behavior and mindset, you reclaim agency and reduce emotional turmoil. This shift in focus from the external to the internal is the foundation of hope in the Stoic world. Stoicism also reminds us that suffering and misfortune are not unique to us. They are universal human experiences. Knowing this can provide perspective and lessen feelings of isolation. Even the greatest Stoics endured hardship. Marcus Aurelius faced wars and political challenges. Epictetus was born a slave, and Seneca was exiled and persecuted. Yet they found peace through their philosophy. Their example shows us that it is possible to maintain dignity and hope regardless of external circumstances. This sense of shared human experience connects us to others and to the enduring strength of the human spirit. When you feel like giving up because nothing is going your way, consider the power of reframing your situation. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, view them as opportunities for learning and self-improvement. Every setback teaches a lesson. Every failure reveals something about your approach or your mindset. The Stoics urge us to ask, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge make me stronger or wiser? This questioning turns despair into curiosity and fosters a growth mindset. It also empowers you to take ownership of your life, even when external factors seem chaotic. Hope, in the Stoic sense, is not a fragile wish for things to get better magically. It is a resilient inner stance, commitment to keep moving forward, to keep acting virtuously, and to keep seeking wisdom no matter the outcome. Hope is found not in changing the world to suit your desires, but in changing yourself to meet the world with strength and grace. It is the knowledge that your character, your mind, and your choices are your true sources of power. It is also important to remember that setbacks do not define your worth or your potential. You are not your failures or your circumstances. Your identity is rooted in your values and your capacity for growth. When you cling to this understanding, you build a foundation that no external storm can shake. You learn to walk through life's challenges with quiet confidence, knowing that while the external world is unpredictable, your internal fortress remains unbreakable. Finally, practicing gratitude, even in difficult times, can be transformative. The Stoics advocated for regularly reflecting on what you do have rather than what you lack. This shift in focus brings awareness to the good in your life, no matter how small, and counterbalances feelings of hopelessness. Gratitude nurtures hope by reminding you that life, even with its trials, contains gifts and moments of beauty. When nothing seems to go your way and hope feels distant, you have within you the power to turn things around by adopting the Stoic mindset. By accepting what you cannot change, focusing on what you can control, cultivating virtues, learning from adversity, and practicing gratitude, you create a source of hope that no external misfortune can extinguish. This hope is not dependent on circumstances, but rooted deeply in your own strength, resilience, and wisdom. In this way, even the darkest moments become opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate person. The path of Stoicism leads not away from hardship, but through it, transforming obstacles into stepping stones toward a life of meaning and peace. When life seems to be working against you, and you find yourself surrounded by setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles, it's natural to feel overwhelmed and lose hope. The sense that nothing is going your way can weigh heavily on your mind and spirit. During these times, despair can cloud your vision, making it difficult to see a way forward. However, this experience, as difficult as it may be, is also a profound opportunity to develop inner strength and resilience. The philosophy of Stoicism offers timeless guidance on how to navigate such moments with courage, clarity, and hope, showing us that even when external circumstances seem bleak, we still have the power to choose our response and shape our inner world. Stoicism teaches us that the key to a fulfilling and peaceful life is to focus on what lies within our control and to accept with equanimity what lies beyond it. The external events, other people's actions, and unforeseen challenges often fall outside our influence. We cannot always prevent difficulties from arising or guarantee the outcomes we desire. But what we can control is how we think about those events and how we respond to them. This realization is incredibly empowering because it shifts the source of your strength from the external world, which is unpredictable and often unfair, to your own mind and attitude, which are within your power. When it feels like everything is going wrong, the first step is to practice acceptance. Not a passive surrender, but a conscious choice to see reality clearly and without distortion. The Stoics call this acceptance amor fati, or the love of fate. This means embracing all experiences, both pleasant and unpleasant, as essential parts of your journey. Rather than resisting or wishing things were different, you welcome what happens with an open heart. This does not mean you have to like every hardship or pain, but you acknowledge that these experiences are inevitable and can be sources of growth if you allow them to be. This acceptance helps to ease the frustration and suffering that come from fighting reality. When you stop expending energy on resisting what cannot be changed, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters, your response, your character, and your choices. In this way, adversity becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. It invites you to develop virtues such as patience, courage, self-discipline, and wisdom, qualities that are the foundation of a strong and hopeful spirit. One of the greatest challenges in difficult times is the temptation to fall into despair or hopelessness. It may seem that the situation is permanent and that nothing you do will make a difference. But Stoicism reminds us that hope is not about expecting life to be easy or free of problems. Instead, hope is a mindset rooted in the belief that you have the inner resources to endure and overcome challenges. Hope is about persistence, the willingness to keep taking the next step even when the path ahead is unclear. The words of Epictetus resonate deeply here. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your power lies in your attitude and your actions. When faced with hardship, choose to meet it with calm determination rather than panic or defeat. This choice alone can transform your experience. Instead of being overwhelmed by external difficulties, you become a master of your inner world, able to maintain peace and purpose regardless of circumstances. Stoicism also encourages us to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. This distinction is critical in reducing unnecessary suffering. Worrying about outcomes or other people's decisions drains energy and leads to frustration. But focusing on your own thoughts, efforts, and virtues centers your attention where it can be effective. By doing your best in the present moment, regardless of the outcome, you maintain integrity and resilience. This approach creates a sense of hope grounded not in external guarantees, but in your steadfast commitment to your values and growth. It is important to recognize that difficulties and setbacks are not signs of personal failure or punishment. They are part of the human condition and an opportunity to learn and develop. Even the Stoic philosophers themselves endured tremendous hardships. Marcus Aurelius faced wars and loss, Seneca suffered exile, and Epictetus was born into slavery. Yet they found strength through their philosophy and lived with dignity and hope despite adversity. Their example teaches us that hardship need not diminish us. It can reveal and deepen our strength. When you feel like giving up because nothing seems to go your way, try reframing your perspective. Instead of viewing challenges as obstacles blocking your progress, see them as chances to practice resilience and learn valuable lessons. Every failure or disappointment contains insights about what might be done differently or what must be accepted. This mindset transforms despair into curiosity and growth, allowing you to take ownership of your journey even when it is difficult. Practicing patience is another vital element in maintaining hope during tough times. Change and healing often require time, and outcomes may not be immediately visible. Impatience often comes from wanting quick fixes or certainty in an uncertain world. The Stoics teach that patience is a virtue cultivated through practice, and that enduring difficulties with calm steadiness builds inner strength. Patience helps you remain grounded and hopeful even when progress feels slow or invisible. Gratitude also plays a powerful role in sustaining hope. When overwhelmed by challenges, it's easy to focus solely on what is lacking or lost. The Stoics advised regularly reflecting on what you do have, however small, to balance your perspective. Gratitude shifts attention to the positive aspects of life and fosters contentment. It reminds you that life contains gifts and moments of beauty even amid struggle, nourishing hope and joy. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to hopelessness is about reclaiming your power through self-mastery. External events may test you, but your character and spirit remain within your control. You can cultivate courage, wisdom, and resilience that no circumstance can take away. This inner fortress becomes your foundation of hope. Quiet, steadfast confidence that you will endure, learn, and grow, no matter what comes your way. In times when nothing seems to go your way and hope feels distant, the Stoic path invites you to embrace acceptance. Focus on what you can control, cultivate virtues, learn from hardship, practice patience, and nurture gratitude. These practices do not promise an easy life, but they do promise a life of meaning, strength, and hope that cannot be shaken by external misfortune. The wisdom of Stoicism offers a powerful reminder. Your life is not defined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to respond. Even in the darkest moments, you hold within yourself the capacity to find peace, purpose, and hope. By walking the Stoic path, you can transform setbacks into opportunities and watch your spirit grow stronger with each challenge faced. When life seems to conspire against you and every attempt to move forward appears futile, the feeling of hopelessness can be overwhelming. It's as if the universe has closed its doors, and the light at the end of the tunnel has dimmed into a faint, unreachable glow. In these moments of despair, it's easy to feel powerless, lost, and disconnected from any sense of purpose. Yet, history and philosophy provide us with enduring lessons on how to confront such darkness. And one of the most profound teachings comes from Stoicism. Philosophy that guides us to find strength, hope, and tranquility within ourselves, regardless of external chaos. Stoicism, founded in ancient Greece and refined in Rome, teaches that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over our perceptions, judgments, and reactions. This core principle is revolutionary because it shifts the locus of control inward. It means that no matter how unfavorable or harsh the world becomes, our inner life remains sovereign. We can cultivate an unshakable calm and resilience by mastering our responses rather than trying to master uncontrollable external factors. When you feel that nothing is going your way, this mindset is not only comforting but also empowering. It reminds you that you always have the power to choose how to engage with your reality. The initial and most difficult step in moments of despair is to accept reality exactly as it is. This acceptance is not about surrendering in defeat or ignoring your pain. Instead, it is a conscious recognition of the facts before you, without denial or distortion. The Stoics described this as amor fati, or loving one's fate. It is the practice of embracing everything that happens, good or bad, as necessary and meaningful parts of your journey. Loving your fate does not mean you desire hardship, but it means you do not waste energy resenting what you cannot change. By accepting reality fully, you free your mind from the battle of resistance and focus on what matters most, your attitude and actions. This acceptance creates space for clarity and peace amid turmoil. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by circumstances, you can see them clearly and evaluate how best to respond. This perspective transforms suffering from a prison into a training ground where you can build virtues like courage, patience, and wisdom. These virtues, cultivated through adversity, become your true asset, qualities that no external event can take away. Each challenge you face becomes an opportunity to strengthen your character and deepen your understanding of yourself. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, the distinction between what is within your control and what is not. External events, other people's opinions, and outcomes fall outside your direct influence. However, your thoughts, beliefs, values, and responses are entirely within your control. By focusing on what you can control, you reduce unnecessary anxiety and despair. This mental clarity shifts your energy from fruitless worry about uncontrollable events to purposeful action based on your own principles and intentions. This is the foundation of hope, knowing that no matter what happens externally, you can act with integrity and wisdom. When despair threatens to engulf you, it is tempting to give in to hopelessness or blame external forces for your misfortune. The Stoics, however, urge us to take responsibility for our own minds and actions. They teach that adversity is not a punishment, but a natural part of life that offers invaluable lessons. Even the great Stoics faced immense hardships. Marcus Aurelius fought wars and political intrigue. Seneca endured exile, and Epictetus was born a slave. Their greatness lay not in avoiding suffering, but in meeting it with courage and rationality. Their example demonstrates that it is possible to maintain hope and dignity regardless of circumstance.